Anxiety disorders are among the most common mental health problems in the United States, taking a heavy physical and mental toll on the body. Standard treatments like cognitive behavioral therapy and prescription medications are vital, but they don't work perfectly for everyone. Many patients only experience partial relief, leaving them struggling with residual daily symptoms. That gap in effectiveness drives over 60% of adults in the U.S. to seek out some form of complementary and alternative medicine. There is a crucial rule for navigating this space. These alternative methods are adjuncts to standard mental health care. They are tools to be used alongside your current treatment, absolutely not substitutes or replacements for clinical care. Surviving chronic anxiety requires navigating a very noisy wellness industry. To do that, you have to look past the marketing and examine the hard clinical science of exactly how physical, cognitive, and spiritual practices alter our biological stress responses. Anxiety triggers a biological misfire, a false suffocation alarm, flooding your system with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, sending the heart and lungs into overdrive. But routine aerobic exercise acts as a countermeasure. Intense muscle engagement regulates this flood, absorbing excess adrenaline. Mind-body physical activities, specifically yoga and Tai Chi, take this a step further. They are designed to explicitly reverse the respiratory abnormalities, like hyperventilation, associated with that false alarm. We see this effect clearly measured in the data. Studies on healthy adults show that consistent practice of Tai Chi reliably reduces anxiety levels compared to control groups, showing a small to moderate effect size across thousands of participants. These physical interventions manually override the body's flawed danger signals, forcing a highly stressed nervous system to physically stand down. Anxiety also operates through a cognitive framework, where the brain chronically overestimates danger and worst-case scenarios. To combat this, clinicians use mindfulness. Clinically, mindfulness is strictly defined as paying attention on purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgmentally. The evidence supporting this is substantial. A systematic review of 47 trials with over 3,500 participants found moderate evidence that mindfulness meditation programs successfully reduce anxiety. Mindfulness dismantles cognitive distortions by training the patient to safely observe and detach from intrusive thoughts as they arise. Over time, chronic worry becomes a deeply ingrained habit. Through the lens of behavioral learning, anxiety develops into a conditioned response, just like any other repeated behavior. Spiritual and religious activities, like transcendental meditation, qigong, and centering prayer, offer a unique set of tools to break these learned habits. The core difference between these practices and secular mindfulness is their focus. While mindfulness focuses on attention, spiritual meditation focuses on intention, using a mantra, focusing on the flow of internal energy, or fostering a shared spiritual connection. This process relies on a psychological mechanism called reciprocal inhibition. By consistently entering deep, intentional meditative states, the brain extinguishes the fear-related conditioned response by replacing it with a new, calming stimulus. A meta-analysis of 16 clinical trials showed that transcendental meditation significantly reduces trait anxiety. Populations with severely elevated anxiety, like veterans with PTSD, show even larger positive effects. Spiritual and devotional practices offer a robust mental framework that actively overwrites the learned habit of fear, replacing it with a larger worldview and internal stability. While the evidence for these practices is highly promising, the clinical reality is that many of these trials suffer from significant methodological limitations, such as small sample sizes and a lack of blind allocations. The data is good, but it isn't perfect. Clinicians contrast these limitations with the safety profile of these practices, which report almost zero adverse side effects. Because the risk is virtually non-existent and the potential reward is high, patients should feel empowered to build a customized adjunct toolkit. You have options. You can choose biological regulation through HIIT or Tai Chi, cognitive detachment through mindfulness, or behavioral reconditioning through spiritual mantras. Take these evidence-based concepts to your doctor. By adding them to your standard care, you shift from being a passive recipient of medication to an active participant in rewiring your own nervous system.